I'm pretty much just gonna sleep for the next 3 days. What's up guys, it's day 6 and episode 7 of the Training Like Goku routine. It is the last day of working. The next 3 days are going to be rest. What a cycle it's been. A lot of stuff's happened. A quick update about my leg. It's feeling a lot better. Still not 100%. So I reckon what I'm going to do for this last day, obviously leg day, I'm probably going to still do the routine, but I'm going to do it in a much easier way. I'm not going to go as hard as I would usually go. And I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do in terms of showing it on the video. Maybe I'll show what I did today, and then I'll also show what I do for the next cycle, because it's going to take about a week to edit the videos anyway. So by the time that comes around, I'm probably going to be on my second cycle anyway, so I can probably show them concurrently, or maybe I'll just show what I did on the second cycle. We'll see what happens. Yeah, but you guys know the drill already. We eat, we get changed, we train, we go hard, so let's do this. What's up guys, I'm back again celebrating the Breakfast of Champions. Hope you guys are doing good. I am back to give commentary on the workouts, the food, everything that's going down. I am this guy, but a week in advance. So I've got a little bit of hindsight on the situation. Of course, as I said, we're eating the Breakfast of Champions. Really, truly, I know I hype this porridge and eggs thing so much, but eat what you have. As long as you're eating healthy and you're eating good food, high density food for breakfast, so you've got that energy, doesn't really matter. But yeah, I will always stand behind porridge and eggs. Also, as always, I'll be putting the calories and the macros on the screen so you know what I'm having throughout the day. The 4K diet continues. Breakfast was decent, had scrambled eggs this time around, added a little bit to the scrambled eggs, so the calories are going to be slightly more than usual for breakfast, but that's how it goes. For this season, we're eating well. Of course, as usual, we're empty plate gang and it's time to get changed. Back with a quick fit check, we're doing the reverse Goku colors again. We've got the blue on top of the orange this time around. You guys already know the vibes, so let's get to the gym. So of course, training day number 6 is going to be leg day number 2, and to be honest with you, my leg was kind of 50-50 at this point. And I remember I was really nervous about what I would be able to do, what I wouldn't be able to do. Would I be able to get good footage for this video? Would I be able to show you guys the full extent of what I wanted to show? Yeah, I was very nervous. It was quite annoying actually, I can't lie. Looking back on it, I kind of feel silly, but it is what it is. I kind of resigned myself to be able to do what I could do. I was definitely going to lower the weights and not go at the weights that I usually go at. But I also was thinking ahead, thinking that I'm going to film alongside concurrently once my knee heals. I was kind of hoping that I was going to be able to do it this week, but yeah, that definitely wasn't happening. My knee is still not in a brilliant position and I didn't really want to risk it. So at this point in time, I'm thinking that I'm going to probably rest it for like a couple more weeks. It should be a lot better by then and I'll be able to like maybe do a little bit of rehab, then get back into the Goku training. Got 3 more weeks left to do. I did kind of train this week, but I only really trained push day and pull days 1 and 2, which it kind of counts, but then when you take out the leg day, it doesn't really have the same effect, so yeah. But anyway, I went over my leg with the massage ball, especially around my knee, just to loosen it up again, get the blood flowing, almost like a warm-up kind of thing. Did a few stretches, then made my way into the lifting area to start my first workout, which is, of course, the barbell deadlift, or the conventional deadlift, depending on what you call it. So I kind of consider this exercise one of the most exhausting exercises there is, because you're kind of working a little bit of everything. And while it's not necessarily or strictly a leg exercise, I know a lot of people do it on pull day. Some people consider it a push day exercise because you're pushing up your legs. I thought it best to put it on my leg day because obviously it does work legs, and I wanted a heavy compound exercise to start off my second leg day. Kind of regretting it at this point, as you can see. I look so worried. But yeah, of course, we're training like Goku. We're trying to go heavy, or as heavy as I can at this point. Here we go. I know it's not really a brilliant explanation for why I chose deadlifts on leg day, but deadlifts and leg day are kind of synonymous because it works the quads, it works a little bit of your hamstrings, not a great amount, but it does work it a little bit. Your glutes, obviously. So it does kind of work. Obviously it is very much a back exercise as well, especially your lower back it can be, which is why we didn't do lower back in our pull day session yesterday. You see, there is a method to the madness. But anyway, we do the standard warm-up sets, then kind of build up to our working sets. Obviously I'm not going as heavy as I usually would go, but we're still doing the 4 sets of 6. To be honest, doing the deadlifts went a lot better than I thought I would. I wasn't feeling that much pain. There was a slight problem with my form, if I'm being honest. Maybe not so much on the way up, but definitely coming down, there was some hesitancy in bending my legs. So obviously the top half of my body went down a lot quicker. To be honest, I don't exactly remember if it was conscious or subconscious, but it must have been something to do with worrying about hurting my knee. But definitely when you're doing conventional deadlifts, you want to make sure your core is braced, you want to make sure that your chest stays up, and you want to make sure that your whole body's coming up at the same time. So you don't want to be levering first at your hips, you want to be doing it at the same time so you're not putting too much stress on your lower back. Of course, there's a lot of YouTube videos out there if you're looking for like specific technique tips. I recommend if you're not used to doing deadlifts. But other than that, make sure you're bracing your core, make sure your breathing is correct, and other than that, we're done. What's up guys, it's me again. Quick update, it's been about 5 weeks since I got injured. My knee's still not 100%, but I am now able to train on it. I've done pretty much every leg exercise except for squats. That's the one I still haven't trained yet. I'm not 100% sure on that. I did try to go to a Muay Thai class this week and I did one little misstep and then my knee flared again, so it's definitely not completely healed. But mostly I can do everything. I can run, I can train, so I'm happy with where it is at the moment and how it's healing. As promised, I managed to film a few update videos for my leg day 2. Pretty much all of them went well. One thing I will say and one thing I will recommend is don't not train legs for 5 weeks, then try and do the exact same weights that you were doing while you were training consistently, because wow, I struggled with that. Especially with deadlifts, I found that very difficult and my back is paying for it at the moment. I'm in a lot of pain. It's not anything serious, it's just muscular pain because I wasn't used to training at that kind of level. And you can see it in my form as well. Definitely the weight's heavier than what my body's used to just because I haven't trained legs or deadlifts in that long. All the other ones seem to go quite well, as you'll see in the video, but just want to let you know because you're probably going to be wondering, why is this guy wearing different clothes? Shout out to Hero of the Streets for helping me film. Here's this quick cameo.
Hello people. Welcome. Oh, the thing follows. That's cool. Welcome to my YouTube channel. It's a takeover today. I don't even know what the mic was. I look at you. Yeah. Hello.
Be sure to check him out on the socials, I'll link them in the description. Exercise number 2 is the incline leg press, and as you'll see from the video in this clip, I wasn't able to do it on this day. I think it's just that my range of motion wasn't there where I wasn't gonna feel pain. I don't even have weights on there and I was feeling a small twinge, so I just left it on this one. Hopefully in a few weeks I'll add the footage of me doing it properly and I'll record myself doing a proper commentary on the exercise. All right, I'm back. So incline leg press is a great exercise for the quads. It allows you to load it quite high without having to worry about the stability aspect like in squats and lunges. And like we said before, when we take out stability, we can load a lot higher, so we're just focusing on strength. 3 sets of 4 to 6. Obviously, if you've never done leg press before, be careful with it. Make sure you've got your hands on the stopper just in case you're not sure you're gonna be able to push it back up. If you're used to the leg press, you kind of know around about what you're able to push. So aim for the weight that you can do 4 to 6 reps on 3 times. Not too much to say about this exercise in terms of form. Make sure your feet are in the correct positions, that they're balanced and aligned with each other with a slight angle outwards, just like the same way that you do with squats. And make sure you do the exercise within your active range of motion. Be sure not to lock out on the exercise because that could be bad for your knees. And also don't bend your knees too much because eventually your hips will start to twist and you don't want the force going on your back instead of your legs. And that's it. Exercise number 3 is the sled push and pull. A great exercise, very Goku centric as well. And also, while technically a leg exercise, also a full body exercise as well, because you're putting in your shoulders, your back, your core. There's a lot of working parts in this one, similar to the deadlift. I was actually surprised I was able to do this exercise. I wasn't exactly sure if it was gonna work or not, and if my knee was gonna act up. I still don't think my form's particularly great because of the injury, but I was still able to do it. Definitely a much lighter weight than I'm used to using, but it still works. So the sled push is gonna work different muscle groups to the sled pull, which is why I advise doing both at the same time. I do 2 sets of each, but mainly that depends on if you have this equipment at your gym. If not, but you've got one of those jump boxes in your gym, if you've got a training partner, you could get someone to sit on it and push that if you've got the space, or you could put some weights on top of that, like plates, and then push that. It just depends on what you've got at your equipment. If you don't have this at all and you don't have anything reminiscent or anything similar at all, then sadly you just won't be able to do this. Like with the other exercises, when I refilm this, I'll give you some more information, but I only do 2 sets of this. 1 way up, 1 way down, rest, and then again, 1 way up, 1 way down, rest. All right, not too much to add here. Both the sled push and the sled pull work relatively the same muscles, the glutes, the calves, the quads, the hamstrings, maybe to different degrees. In my opinion, I'd say that the sled pull probably works the glutes and the quads slightly more, and then I'd say that the sled push probably works the hamstrings and the calves slightly more. They all work to some degree and they all work quite well, but I'd just say there's slight variations in that kind of degree. And then obviously, of course, when you're doing the sled push, you're bringing in your chest and your shoulders slightly as well. When you're doing the sled pull, you're bringing your biceps slightly as you're pulling it, and even a little bit of your back. Like I said, it is kind of a full body exercise for both of them. In terms of the difference between my knee doing it then and doing it now, there's definitely a major difference. While I was still able to do it back then, the weight was much lighter. For example, I wasn't trying to go too heavy, so I only did 50 kg with the sled push and the sled pull. And then on my most recent attempt, I'm doing 125 kg on the sled push and then 75 kg on the way back on the sled pull. And that's not including, for neither of those, that's not including the weight of the sled, which is I think about 20 to 35 kg. I'm not exactly sure of the exact weight. I don't really count it anyway. But yeah, definitely much heavier and much faster on my most recent attempt. So I can tell my leg is definitely healing, definitely feeling much up to it. There was no pain on that. So yeah, other than that, good to go. Exercise number 4, I'm not entirely sure what these are actually called, but I consider them to be hamstring curls, maybe a progression of Nordic curls because you're not exactly on the floor having to do the full range of motion. Kind of at a diagonal, using the hyperextension apparatus. Actually surprisingly difficult and a genuinely good exercise in my opinion. Unfortunately, my knee gave in and I wasn't able to continue, but I'll leave it to future me to give you more information when I do this again. Yeah, a pretty straightforward exercise. You start off on the apparatus in the point where your body's straight and use your hamstrings to pull yourself up. Like I said, pretty much a progression of a Nordic curl. Definitely very hamstring dominant. You will definitely feel it there, especially if you're using the weights. But just as equally, you'll feel it without the weights as well if you're not used to doing this exercise. 4 sets of 4 to 6. Keep your core brace and choose the correct weight for your body. And you're good to go. Next up, standing calf raises. A pretty straightforward exercise and you can do this in various different variations. You can use plates as I am doing in my hands. You can use dumbbells. You can use a barbell on your back and still do the calf raises. There's machines in a lot of gyms that you can use. You could use the leg press really and truly, as long as your legs are straight. All you need to do is push from the balls of your feet rather than from your knees. But I'd say only do that if you know what kind of weight you can handle. If you've never done that before, there's no point really trying it out now. It might be just easier just to do the standing calf raises. Like I said on my previous leg day, I try and do both straight leg and seated calf raises to get the benefits from both. One works the soleus muscle more, one works the gastrocnemius muscle more, which are the 2 main muscles in your calves. I gave my reasons for why I don't work both necessarily on the same day. Sometimes I will. My reason for not doing them both in one session is because I do a lot of Muay Thai, which involves a lot of my calves anyway. So I personally didn't think it was necessary. But if you're not necessarily doing Muay Thai or anything that involves something that will build up your calves a lot throughout the week anyway, you may want to do both in your leg sessions. It's not going to be too much to add both on. And I must say it does make a big difference to your calves in terms of strength and size. So as usual, 4 sets of 4 to 6. To be honest, you don't need to rest as long with these ones because the calves are quite a small muscle and doing 6 reps isn't necessarily going to tire you out because of that. So you can afford to do 3 minutes rest, maybe even 2.5, but don't push yourself too hard. If you're feeling like you need a little bit more rest, don't be afraid to take it because the main thing about this workout is getting the most out of it. Only other thing I would say is make sure you're doing full range of motion, all the way up, all the way down. And when I say all the way down, don't put your heels on the floor, just go right to the point where they're just above and then back up. You don't really want to be resting. That's what makes the calf raise because it's always engaged. Which brings us to our finisher, the horse stance, which is very similar to the ski sit or the wall sit. But of course you don't have a wall. There's a lot of videos on how to do this stance, but I'll give you a brief explanation. For the form, basically imagine these are your feet, shoulder width apart. You pivot them out so they're in a V, pivot them out again so they're in a reverse V, and then a half pivot to put them straight again. So your feet are about 1.5 steps from each other. Then what you do is you go down as low as you can into the squat position, balancing on the outside parts of your feet, holding it as long as you can. My knee was mostly okay during this exercise. The exercise did require a lot of my stabilizing muscles, which did kind of put a little bit of stress on my knee. I'm really not wise for doing this leg day exercise, I can't lie to you, I will admit. But to be honest, as you can see, I'm not going too low down. So that's probably why my knee wasn't too bad. But as an isometric, this is great for engaging all the muscles in your leg, engaging your core, especially your quads, your glutes and your calves. It does work your hamstrings a little bit as a stabilizer. And I say the aim is to do as long as you're able to do. Like it's okay if you're only able to do like 10 seconds and then that's all the energy you have. Just make sure that you're trying to improve as you go on throughout the training. But I would say a good rule of thumb is to aim for between 30 seconds and a minute if you can. Definitely, like all the other finishers, this will sap the rest of your energy. Make sure to get a very good stretching session after this workout just to make sure my knee was okay and my legs in general. Because of the damage to my knee, I know a lot of the muscles started to get quite tight around my left leg. So I wanted to make sure they were stretched out properly and that I was getting the same range of motion that I was getting in my other leg, or at least as close to that my pain allowed. The last thing I did was go over the soles of my feet with the massage ball, which is probably something I should do a lot more often because of Muay Thai, just because you're on the balls of your feet quite a lot, and that can cause a lot of tightness. But I can tell you that gave me a lot of relief going over that. I remember that clearly. But anyway, time to eat. So for my post-workout meal, I'm afraid I'm not ashamed to say that I ordered from Deliveroo not once, but twice today. in the space of like an hour. So I need to break down what I had to eat for you guys because this was a delicious meal. So I ordered from this place called Umai. This is the first time I've ever ordered from this place, and I got salmon teriyaki bento with edamame beans. I got half a rack of baby back ribs, and I got chicken yakitori. Like, I was in my bag for this one. I was so ready. Obviously, I ordered a lot more food than I actually needed, so I kind of split it in two, separated the two, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Actually, thinking about it, I don't even think it was half a rack of baby back ribs. I feel like it was a whole rack, and then I split the rack into two for my 2 post-workout meals. So for my first meal, I had the salmon teriyaki with the bento and half a rack of ribs. Considering this came in delivery as well, the salmon was cooked perfectly, the rice was nice, the ribs were great. I don't even know what the sauce was, but it was amazing. Plenty of protein in this dish, not really enough carbs, and this is where the second idea for Deliveroo came in. So I was thinking in my head, you know what, I could have some dessert, and that's exactly what I did. I ordered from this place called Kova Patisserie. It's a Japanese dessert place, really good as well. Bear in mind, I haven't had dessert all week and I felt like, you know what, I've worked hard this week, I deserve it. So I got a Japanese souffle cheesecake and I got oolong boba tea. See, we're still in the theme of Dragon Ball with oolong. And to be honest, it went down great. It was just what I needed. The souffle cheesecake was decent. The tea was really good. Not really had boba tea that often, so it was good to have. And of course, made up for the carbs I missed in my meal. Spent the next few hours chilling off my feet, didn't want to injure my leg too much. Then it was time for my next post-workout meal, in which I had the rest of my ribs, the yakitori, sprouts, and some rice that I already cooked in the fridge. By the way, if I'm not able to find out the exact calories of the dish, I'll kind of give you a rough estimate of what it was, because I did weigh out everything, so I should be able to kind of guess it. And of course, as usual, we are Empty Plate Gang. Quick change into my evening fit. I've got the Gojo top from Uniqlo. I'm telling you guys, Uniqlo is the best place to get any of your anime t-shirts, to be honest. They're good quality, relatively cheap. I definitely recommend it. They don't do it often, but if you keep your eyes peeled, every so often they do some kind of collaboration with anime. Of course, I've got the pink shorts repping my gym, and I've got the matching do-rag to go with it. This was actually a really good fit as well, in my opinion. What's up, guys? We have reached workout number 12 for the first cycle. We're finally here. And the last workout is going to be a class, which I'm excited about. First class back since I got injured. Hopefully it all goes okay. It's going to be a mixed class, so it shouldn't be as intensive. Hopefully my leg will hold out and it'll be alright. Usually it's just like pair stuff, so it should be fine. I'll just take it as I go, take it easy. Try not to do too much, but also try and like have a good workout and have fun and stuff like that. So I'll let you guys know how it goes. I'll let you guys know what we get up to. See you guys in a bit. Boom. It's go time. Let's do this. Alright guys, class has just finished. Pretty good session. Pretty much did like a lot of shadow boxing at the beginning. Then, like I thought we would, went into partner drills and stuff. Good class. So yeah, I'm just happy that we're finally done. I can finally think about resting. It's great, man. Gonna eat and I'm pretty much just gonna sleep for the next 3 days. Can't wait. But we go again after that. Yeah, see you guys in a bit. Just got back from class, so I can go into a little bit more detail on what we actually did in the lesson. So we mainly started off with our standard warm-up where we do rounds of shadow boxing with other stuff in between, more so to build up stamina and stuff like that, which is always fun. For example, we'd start off with doing like shadow boxing but just hands, and then we'd add in repeat kicks. In the minute intermission we do like 3 minutes of shadow boxing, then 1 minute of like repeat kicks or 1 minute of check kicks, and then the next round you'd add in the check kicks to your shadow boxing, and then you do like 1 minute of like, for example, jump knees, and then you add the jump knees into the next round of 3 minutes of shadow boxing, stuff like that. You do that for like 15 minutes, so like 4 rounds and then however many rests in between. Yeah, I'm rambling, sorry, I'm tired. But yeah, after that we mainly focused on, it was pretty simple drills, but the main focus was on working out the right distance to be able to facilitate those drills. So like the right distance to throw a punch, the right distance to throw a punch into a kick, the right distance to throw a teep, and then fake the teep into a punch, into a kick. More just playing around with distance and like making sure we're making the most of where we're at and where we are compared to our opponent. So like if we're going to do a teep, we have to think about how far we're pushing them back, and then as we're going back into them, and then if we do a fake teep, we're going to be quite close. We do a fake teep, kind of jump forward or do a quick shuffle forward into a punch, and then be able to be in the right distance that you're not too close to the punch and you can still land the kick. Not fairly overly difficult stuff, but it's very, how do I describe it? It's very finicky. Like you have to make sure you're always doing it the right way, and it kind of gets into your muscle memory, trying to work out, like it makes you understand your body a lot better because you can know where's the right moment, or where's the furthest place you can punch from, where's too close for you to punch from, where's too close for you to kick from, where's too far from you to kick from, and so on and stuff like that. And that's pretty much what we were doing for the majority of the session, which was quite fun. It's always interesting to do, and it helps when we go into like sparring classes and stuff like that. And generally it's a good way to kind of put the different drills we're doing into perspective, and like why we'd be using them, and why we'd be able to, or how we'd be able to transfer those over to the sparring classes. So yeah, good session. Wasn't overly intensive, which I assumed, and so I didn't really damage my knee too much. My knee was pretty much fine. I had like one niggle, but that was about it, so I'm happy about that. Not that tired even as well, like it wasn't too intensive. It was kind of medium intensity, very repetitive, which kind of like built up the heart rate to go up a little bit, but other than that it was cool. Gonna eat now, and then you know what, all I'm thinking about is resting for the next 3 days. Like that's the main thing that's on my mind right now. I'm so happy 6 days done. I'm a little bit disappointed about how the morning went. I wasn't able to do like my fullest in the morning, but it is what it is, like it happens. Hopefully I'll be able to record the next cycle's leg day 2, and then I can show you what it should look like. Hopefully I'll be able to put it in this video as well. If not, I'll put it in a different video, but we'll see what happens. All right, let's eat. Last post-workout meal of the first cycle, and we've got chicken fried rice with broccoli, same with the same vegetables. This was really nice actually, I was surprised. If I do say so myself. Yep, that's right, the reign of Deliveroo ended. Like with my previous meals, while it was really good, because of the sheer volume of rice, it was very difficult to finish. Well, it wasn't difficult, it just took a long time. And I'm someone that really likes eating, which always surprises me how long it takes to eat. Like, you see this recording is probably only gonna be like cut up to like maybe 1 minute max, but the video is probably like 30 minutes just me eating. It's ridiculous. And I consider myself quite a fast eater as well. Calories and macros will be on the screen as usual. And that's it from me. Alright guys, that is it for episode 7 and day 6 of training like Goku. We've trained hard, we've eaten hard, now it's time to rest hard. I'm just glad that it's over, to be honest, for now. We go again in the next cycle, we're gonna go even stronger, we're gonna try and raise the weights, or that's what I'm gonna aim to do. Yeah, wish me luck. But for now, we rest, we recover, get stronger, get the gains back. Yeah. But thanks for watching guys, and until next time, I'm out.